Absolutely, Jim. So I'll take a philosophical approach here. There's a favorite expression of mine that's "non noa sub solo," which is Latin for "there's nothing new under the sun." And when you look at IT systems where you're going from a LAN system to a distributed network to distributed systems, cloud is sort of the next iteration of that. It's a maturation in the process. But one of the challenges is that we still have legacy processes behind a lot of this, and this goes back to the point of culture. I remember when we did the first intranet back in 1994, we went and installed Windows NT and IIS, and we installed 15,000 feet of UTP, did all these systems to bring all our China posts into a single system. And after the briefing that we gave to the ambassador, he walked up to me and said, "I feel like you just drove up a fleet of Ferraris, hand me the keys, I don't know how to drive." Okay. And it's the same challenge we have with cloud. Now, granted, you're moving at a faster pace, there's this agile approach to it, but a lot of our customers don't understand that in order to take full advantage of the cloud, they have to modernize the processes and the work performance they do behind there. And a lot of those legacy processes have not been modernized. That's one challenge I see. Also, to echo some of the comments by some of my panel members, the other challenge I see is capitalization of the infrastructure. So a lot of people want to go out to the cloud, but in order to do that, you have to improve the on-ramp to get there, the bandwidth issues, and talking about the tick. A subject near and dear to my heart is the fact that I've got about 60 to 70% of my customers are in overseas environment. Yeah. And so trying to get them regular, consistent access to the internet through a tick that's backhauling everything through the States is hugely problematic. And if we want to break out into the internet fabric overseas, that takes a whole other set of constraints that we have to deal with. And so we're coming up with this hybrid model where we envision that we're going to have to maintain some on-prem infrastructure on embassies overseas and then have some infrastructure back in the States. And the other thing I would say to cloud vendors out there is you're looking at the enterprise and how you're architecting this stuff. You have to consider folks like the Department of State, where you have this huge overseas presence, and having everything hosted back in the States is a problem as far as performance goes. And then last but not least, I said the other challenge I have with cloud is a lot of people believe innovation is clicking the buy button. Right. So I've got folks out there who are innovating by purchasing cloud services, not always through the CIO's office. So it sets up a whole other on-ramp for shadow IT, which is a whole separate discussion. So trying to get our hands around the governance of that, trying to have the infrastructure support it, and also be able to have the performance on the cloud for a widely distributed series of customers is a huge challenge.
Yeah, excellent.